Hi everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. I hope you're having a good Sunday. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do for my next stream, and then I saw Aaron Carter got some new tattoos, and I was like, well, this is interesting. Um, and it had me thinking that maybe we need to talk about what's going on with him. So he had his tattoo artist put a Rihanna Medusa on his face. Now, um, Medusa is from Greek mythology, and her origin and symbolism, according to what I could find, is to protect or to rule over. And he has put it slap on the side of his face, so perhaps he's looking for someone to protect and rule over him. But he's been going through something for the last few weeks, maybe even the last few months. And the last few days has been streaming on Instagram. And he is like streaming nonstop, like almost manically. Like everything in his life right now is being streamed. If he's on the computer playing a game, he's streaming. If he's he streamed talking to somebody, one of his fans who happened to be a porn star. He streams talking to business people. In his most recent live that he put on Instagram just a couple hours, like an hour ago, he literally called TMZ to meet him at Guitar Center because he was going to sell his bass guitar, I believe, and his drum set. And he gets out of his truck because he's waiting for them to arrive. So he is like essentially calling the paparazzi to meet him so that he can talk and appear as though they follow him, although he called them. And then while they're there, there's the TMZ, a couple guys flashing, somebody asking him questions, and they're asking him about Nick, and he says he can't tell them anything about what's going on with Nick because there's a restraining order. And then he starts going on this like sort of diatribe about how he's the biggest thing in music right now. He's the biggest thing in music, he's the biggest thing in hip hop, he is the biggest star. And because of everything that's going on, everyone wants to talk about him. Everyone is interested in what he's doing. He is the biggest. And he has so much going on right now that he has to move. So he's moving to a new house. He says that he has already purchased a new home that he's renovating and he will move into shortly after his mother gets out of rehab. He said that the tattoo on his face, and then he started talking about the tattoo on his face relating to his putting his mother in rehab because nobody else in his family seemed to care about his mother. His mother joined him on The Doctor a couple weeks ago, and they discussed her addiction to alcohol, and then she agreed to go into rehab. And it was during that same episode that Aaron said that he would get a full evaluation and figure out what was going on. He said he was sober. And in this interview with TMZ, he said he was sober, but then he was on Instagram Live just a few hours ago smoking from a bong. He doesn't believe that using marijuana is not being sober because he has a medicinal card for it. So he's using it medicinally. This is kind of his same thing with like he's on a lot of benzos, which was part of the episode on The Doctors. He was taking multiple different benzodiazepines, which are downers and controlled substances. He also tested positive for opiates. He has a lot in his system, and then he's admittedly says that he's addicted to huffing. Anyway, during this interview, I'm sorry if I'm all over the place. The story is all over the place. So during the interview with TMZ, he's talking about how he's been 2 years sober, but he's not really sober. And they were trying to explain that to him on The Doctors. And then he says that he's the only one in his family that cared about his mom. He has the Medusa tattoo, somehow relates to his mother. He's buying a new house. He's renovating it. He has to buy a new house because so many people are coming to his house and showing up and calling the cops, and then some allegations that he himself calls the cops on himself. There's just so much going on here that it's hard to figure out where the truth is, where the reality is, but it's very clear that whatever's happening here is extremely tragic, I guess. Something obviously is going on to the point where he needs help, and a lot of this must be related to a cry for help, maybe. I don't know, but he has this sort of grandiose sense of self right now. And here's some of the stuff just to give you some examples of what's going on here. So the other day he posted this, and it was a video of him with his tattoo artist as they're preparing to put the ink on his face. And there he is debuting the tattoo. It's right along his face, and then he has coming off of her, it's a scribble which says love. And then one of his fans wrote, "You'll regret this later, Aaron. I'm sorry I supported everything, but this is just so much." And he said, "Totally get it, but someone that's also bipolar, I've woken up regretting what I've done to my body. Hope wholeheartedly that you don't." And then other people were like, "Your face, your pretty face." And he says, "But a beautiful face on a beautiful face." And then he debuted this where he wrote, "I'm the biggest thing in music right now. I can't be denied. Fact check me." And then, "You're really not. You're more like a B-lister, really. Not even. Maybe like a Z-lister." And then yesterday he was out on his four-wheeler living his best life. And then someone wrote, "Did you pass BAM? Did BAM pass the torch of Insta Meltdown on you?" And then on Twitter, he's been going back and forth. Earlier today, he said, "We can only conquer what we conjure. I'm a lion. I'm a millennial, and the media doesn't have the power. The fans do. As long as you love your fans and treat people good things will happen. We just can't expect that to happen. Do good things out of the kindness of our hearts. I'm doing just fine. I ask you to respect me and leave me alone. I already have to move. I don't need to be under scrutiny with every decision I make. I will take the necessary precautions to protect myself. And when I move, no one will know where I live. Missing my mom right now." And then he addressed earlier, a couple days ago, yesterday, in fact, he addressed the current restraining orders against his sister and his brother. And he said that he will be showing up for the court hearing that's between him and his twin sister, Angel. But he said he will not be attending the one for Nick because he doesn't care if he has a restraining order against me. I will never speak to him again for the rest of my family. And then he posted some random thing about Beyonce, about how he always would love her and her music. And "I wanted to let you know I never forgot when you let me open up for you, Destiny Child, in 1999 and 2000. That's all I wanted to say. Beehive, thank you for everything you've done for me." So as you can see, he's like beep bopping all over the place. And I can't figure out, with all of this going on, how we keep escaping the fact that this person needs help and nothing's being done. And I don't know, like, if this is, like, I think this is maybe mania, right? Because he says that he has bipolar. So if he has mania, it's like all over the place. But what I can't understand is if he's doing all of these behaviors and he's this erratic, why is it so hard to get him help? I can't understand. Like, people are calling for wellness checks and then they come and they leave. And he's calling TMZ and saying he's the greatest thing on music, which is clearly not the case. He hasn't put out new music in forever, like that grandiose sense of self. That's another aspect of, I believe, mania. Like the God complex almost. And I'm concerned with all of these people that are in his life, like that nobody is like doing anything. It seems like he, on his Instagram lives, all the people in his life around him, surrounding him, are people that are yes people that don't seem to think that there's anything wrong here. It started, exactly, who was that said that? Angela, it reminds me of the Charlie Sheen Tiger Blood winning meltdown. It's really concerning, and I don't know like what can be done, and like it's all over the media and everyone's covering it, and the tattooing stuff. I mean, he has a ton of tattoos, so I don't want to be like, oh, that's really bad. You know what I mean? Like, but when you're in a state like this and then you put a tattoo on your face and then there's just lots of, is he in the right place to be doing these sorts of things? Do we need to be getting him help? Like, what the hell is going on here? And there's been a lot of stuff of him, going after Nick, right? So he's making a ton of statements siding with the women that have accused Nick of RAPE, let's just say. And there's what, three women, four women, three or four women that have made the accusation. One from 2003, which the Los Angeles District Attorney decided they were not going to press charges against. It doesn't mean it didn't happen. It was just the statute of limitations had expired. So, and Nick has his own like chemical dependence. He is known for being, he's admittedly said that he's an alcoholic. Even Aaron today or yesterday was talking about how on the No Jumper podcast on YouTube, he's telling the host about how his brother forced him to drink vodka every day from the time he was 11 until he was 15. He's so all over the place, and I'm trying so hard to like figure out what this is, and I feel like if something doesn't happen soon, he's going to end up dead because his behavior is escalating and his choices are escalating and it's, I know I'm making a video about this, but I cover a lot of mental health stuff, so this isn't to like belittle him or make fun of him. Like, I'm genuinely concerned for him, and I want if anyone knows anything about what can be done to help this guy. It's clear something needs to be done, and even the people around him don't know what to do because they're getting restraining orders. I'm lost. Like, Aaron, you need help. Get off Instagram. Go to your doctor. Like, yeah, this is all just overwhelming. And I don't even know what direction I was going to go with this. I was just like, dude, like this, you guys, he's got a new tattoo. He's streaming nonstop. He's on Instagram, basically just playing on the computer and just like on Instagram, taking calls from random fans. Like, something needs to be done. I don't know what to do. If you know anybody who knows anything, let me know. What are your thoughts? What do you think? I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a mental health professional, but I would love to hear what you think is going on here. Bye, guys.